I am Dr. Jayshree Chasmawala, family practice and lifestyle medicine physician in Dallas. And I really love and focused on how lifestyle affects our health and wellness and the impact that it makes, because what we do every single day makes more of a difference in our health than going to see a doctor, once a month, once a quarter. I mean, it's still important to see your doctor as needed, but really what we do every day affects our health even more. So what got me started on this journey was that when I moved to Texas, I started having allergies really bad. And when I moved to Austin, it got even worse. And every spring semester, by the end of the spring, I would have bronchitis and would end up on antibiotics and steroids. And, I went to see an allergy specialist and they did the allergy skin prick test. And I reacted so strongly to the testing doses that they had to dilute the testing doses. And so at the end of all of that, my allergist was like, take some Claritin. I was like, I've been taking Claritin and it doesn't do anything. I've been taking it for years. And it's, as a matter of fact, my allergies have gotten worse. So I started to do some research on my own. And this is pre-Google. So I had to actually go to the library, and UT campus in Austin has a medical library. And I found this obscure text on natural healing, and it talked about the connection between dairy and mucus and inflammation and how it exacerbates allergies. And so I was already raised vegetarian up until then. And then so I decided to become vegan, give up dairy, and I haven't had any problems with allergies since then. That was 24 years ago. So that was my first connection between nutrition, what we do every single day, and that connection to health. So that when I was so excited to learn more about this. So when I went to med school, I thought, okay, we're surely going to be learning about the connection between nutrition and health. And we didn't learn anything. We got 2 hours of nutrition. It was all on how to tube feed a comatose patient and maybe some obscure vitamin deficiencies that we don't really see anymore, like scurvy and things like along those lines. So, and then through that, because I'm super excited about this connection, I met Stephanie when I set up my own clinic, and she came through and she was talking, we were talking, we realized that we had similar philosophies of health. She's a physical therapist, and we both agree that health, nutrition is the best way to affect our health. And so we started putting on these talks. That was over 10, almost more than 10 years ago. And we've been doing them pretty consistently, about once a month. So we can get started. Okay, so we're going to be talking about how to stay healthy during the holidays. One of the things that we always look at is how do we eat all year long? We have what's called the SAD diet, or the Standard American Diet. And it really, if you look at this graph, you can see that the majority of what we eat is oils, fats, fast foods, processed and refined foods, and sweets. So sugar and sugary foods. As a matter of fact, our sugar intake has steadily gone up since the 1970s. There's some estimates from the US government surveys that say that the average American consumes about 152 pounds of sugar and 133 pounds of flour, which convert to sugar annually. That's more than a third of a pound per person per day. That's a lot of sugar. So why is that so bad? The risks of the effects of eating sugar is that it does increase our risks for things like diabetes, cardiovascular disease. It does affect our gut health. And our gut, the microbiome, is the bacteria that we have that lives in our body. And it does a lot of things for us. It digests our food, it makes up our immune system. So we want to feed it the right foods. And one of the things that it does is it's monitoring to determine between what's actually harmful and what's not harmful, and what's regular part of the body, normal cells, and what's not normal cells or stranger cells. And so when it sees things like sugar, which has been processed or processed flour, it doesn't recognize it as food. And it says, hey, this is not really food. So it starts to try to mount an attack against these types of food. But then when we do actually have some type of infection, a virus or bacteria, we've used up a lot of our resources, immune resources, to fight off things like, the food that we're eating, pollen, things that don't really affect our health or cause problems. Now we don't have the resources then to fight off the infection. So that's how it decreases our immune function. Sugar increases inflammation, and it causes weight gain. Some of these things we already know. And then we already know also that obesity is linked to so many diseases and problems as well. So it's hard to separate out, when we're talking about sugar, the effects of diabetes, the effects of obesity, the cardiovascular effects, because they're all intertwined. So one of the things that we're focusing right now is how it affects our immune system, because this is the time when people get sick. Between, we're kind of starting up, people are getting their flu shots. We're starting to get, we'll start seeing some flu probably in November. We may not this year. I don't know what's going to happen. But usually between October and New Year's, people get sick a lot. And one of the reasons why is, what do we look at, around this time? If we went into the office, there's candy everywhere because it's Halloween. There, people bring in donuts, people bring in cakes, cookies, other treats like that. And that continues on until, we've got Thanksgiving time. So then people are bringing in like holiday desserts, and all the way up until Christmas and New Year's. So we're getting a lot more sugar intake during these next 3 months than we do the rest of the year. So I often get asked, what about fruit? Because, people think fruit has sugar in it, it's sweet. The thing about fruit is, I love this graph because we can see that fruit also has fiber, and the amount of fiber it has is almost, for most fruits, the same amount as sugar it has. So you can see that the majority of our fruits and some of our sweeter, starchier vegetables are in the bottom corner, the bottom left corner. And that's because they have about the same amount of fiber and sugar. We can see that as we get up to higher up, we have them, but we're still on a balance, with the exception of things like grapes, which are higher in sugar than fiber, and like lychee. But lychee is really high in water too. So there's other benefits to eating things like that. So the benefits of eating fruit is that it comes with fiber. It's not processed. The sugar of it is not processed out. So a lot of our sugar is from cane sugar that we use. It's processed out and then it's purified, so we get that white sugar, that table sugar that we're used to seeing. And so sugar canes have fiber in it. So if you eat a sugar cane, it's not the same as taking a tablespoon of sugar, because it has that fiber. So the fiber slows down the digestion and the spread of the sugar in the whole body. And it, because it's coming with the whole package. Remember, we talked a little bit before about the gut health, the bacteria in our body. It's looking for things that it recognizes. It recognizes food, this food as, let's say sugarcane, because it sees the sugar and the fiber and the whole food that it's expecting. So it's like, okay, yeah, this is good. As a matter of fact, as people are concerned about fruit, there's been several studies that show increased fruit intake actually decreases the risk of diabetes. Eating fruit, like if you eat an apple before your meal, they've shown that you actually eat less calories during that meal. And so we're talking about diabetes and obesity there, but we also know that fruits are rich in vitamins and minerals. So we've heard throughout this time this year, we need to increase our vitamin C. Well, where does vitamin C come from? It comes from fruits. So if we increase our fruit and vegetable intake, then we're naturally going to get a lot of these vitamins that they're talking about that we need to boost our immune system. Just on an aside, one of the ones that I've heard a lot about is zinc. You know, we need to have a lot of zinc to help boost our immune system. And a natural source for zinc is dark chocolate. So I'm not saying you eat a lot of it, but that's just good to know because, you know, I love chocolate. And so if I find eating some dark chocolate and I know it has some good value to it because it has zinc and other things in there, magnesium, other minerals that we need, then, you know, we can rest assured when we're eating them. So this brings us to, you know, the benefits of eating plant-based. This doesn't mean, you know, I'm personally vegan myself. I was raised vegetarian, but this doesn't mean that everybody has to follow that certain pattern of eating. This is all about patterns, right? So the more vegetables and fruits and whole grains and lentils and beans and seeds that we add to our daily intake, the healthier we are. The less that we do of animal products like meat, fish, eggs, dairy, the healthier we are. It doesn't mean we have to cut it, you know, cut out the bad stuff altogether, but we want to make it more reasonable. So, you know, if you're not eating any fruits and vegetables right now, it might be reasonable to start with like adding 1 serving per meal or 2 servings per meal and increasing your way slowly up there. I always like adding stuff rather than decreasing stuff because it just makes it easier. And the reason is the news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you, it's that they're so good for you they could save your life. And one of the ways is that because it does feed, these are the foods that feed our bacteria in our gut. And our bacteria in our gut we're just learning all the different functions it has in our body. And that includes, you know, making sure things are stable. There's a, what they call the gut brain connection. So we're seeing that it actually helps with our mental health issues to eat more fruits and vegetables. It helps with so many different areas of our health to eat more fruits and vegetables. And then here's a couple of resources. I love these 2 documentaries. I think both of them are still available to watch on Netflix if you have a subscription to that. And they're great. They just talk about the benefits of whole food plant-based eating and how they can really impact and have a beneficial effect on your health. Our community that Stephanie and I are in, we're called Health Made Simple, and we're powered by plants. And so that's another resource. We have resources such as virtual education and support, meal prep and cooking demos like we're doing today. We have that community connection. We have healthy living workshops. We do programs like the Shred 10, which I'll go into in a second. We have family resources, Start Strong Kids. We have fitness videos, recipe books, and some of these recipes are super easy and super tasty. Our Shred 10, there's just basically 10 guidelines, and we try to do it for 10 days every month or every quarter or so, however often you want to do it. Every time I do it, I always feel so good. And it's just a great way to establish some healthy habits. We add plant foods and fruit and vegetable powders that come in a capsule. We add a couple of shakes or a couple of smoothies a day with fruit or vegetable and whole grain powders, whole grain and lentil powders in there. We make sure we drink plenty of water. We're getting plenty of sleep. We try to exercise most days of the week, reduce or eliminate eating after 6 p.m. So we try to do some intermittent fasting in there. And then we reduce or eliminate our processed foods. So we're talking about sugar here. And remember that processed grains like flours, white flour, it becomes sugar in the body. It's treated the same way. So we want to eliminate processed foods. We want to eliminate or reduce caffeine and alcohol. We want to eliminate gluten and dairy. And we talked about those reasons as well. It helps the gut to kind of eliminate the harder things for it to digest. And then refined and artificial sugars. You know, we also can try to grow our own fruits and vegetables, or mostly vegetables and herbs on this tower garden. It's cool because it doesn't take up much space. It doesn't use as much water. It pretty much it takes care of itself. You just fill the base with water, and it grows on its own. I've been able to grow stuff on my tower garden, and I can't even keep a cactus alive. So, you know, it's really easy. Anyone can do it. And you get great, delicious vegetables on your back porch or in your backyard without having to get your hands all dirty with the dirt. I don't like getting my hands dirty. So here are some pictures of some of our community's tower gardens. And so again, this is just to reiterate that what we do every day is what helps boost our health, and our immune system in this case is what we're talking about. We want to make sure we're spending some time decreasing our stress. That can be, you know, meditation, breathing, being mindful. We already discussed healthy eating. We want to avoid smoking and alcohol and other dangerous substances. We want to make sure we're getting about 7 to 9 hours of sleep, getting exercise, feeling that sense of community, which is one of the reasons why I love the Shred 10 program, because these are all the things that we're supposed to do every day anyway. And so the Shred 10 just kind of gives you that jump start into healthy living, setting up those healthy habits. So we need 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. If you're an athlete, you need to eat even more. If you have, you know, chronic medical conditions, you might need to eat some more. The reason is because one, we need that much nutrition, you know, the phytonutrients and micronutrients and macronutrients, all of that stuff we need to keep our body functioning well. And so we get our vitamins and minerals from fruits and vegetables. It has fiber, which our body also needs. The bacteria also needs that as well. And we don't get enough variety. I know I tend to eat the same, you know, probably few vegetables and fruits every single day. So we want to get more of a variety to get that rainbow coloring that we want. So we want to bridge the gap. I don't know about you, how many of you guys are getting 7 to 13 servings a day? I know some days I struggle, some days it's easier than others. But one of the things that I love is this product that has fruits and vegetables powders in a capsule. And so it helps bridge that gap between what we are actually eating and how much we should eat. And by bridging that gap, we're giving our body the best possible chance against most chronic conditions and infections. And as I discussed before, an apple, right, it has so many phytonutrients and vitamins in there, whereas, you know, if you took just a vitamin C or a multivitamin, it's not as potent, it's not as effective. As a matter of fact, you have like one apple probably only has like about 5 milligrams of vitamin C. That 5 milligrams of vitamin C from a whole apple is more potent than a 500 milligram tablet of vitamin C. Your body just recognizes it more because it's coming with all the other 10,000 different nutrients, phytonutrients that are in the apple. It just works synergistically like a symphony. So your body knows exactly how to process that and where to use it. So here, just a pretty picture of the fruit and vegetable capsules and the tower garden, as well as our complete drink mix, complete shakes. These are a lot of the fruits and vegetables that are all of the fruits and vegetables that are in our capsules. And, you know, they also come in a yummy chewable. So you have either option here to bridge that gap. And I'm just going to play a quick video on where the fruits and vegetables come from.
The fact that we actually grow a lot of these products very close to the factory, we can preserve the freshness. They can be harvested and processed within just a couple hours of when they come out of the field, as opposed to maybe some of the produce you might buy in the store where it has to go through trucking and shipping and a lot of different steps to be available to you. These processes that we do are done just within a few hours of when the product's harvested.
From the farm through our plant, the fresh product actually only takes about 6 hours. When the product arrives at our farm processing plant, the product is tumbled, washed, and cleaned. The cleaned product is then laid out over the processing belt and slowly move through sub-zero air. When we're doing that, we're able to freeze the product and preserve all the freshness of the product just as if it was from the field.
The sooner you can lower the temperature and control the temperature, the more you can lock in the nutrients.
When Juice Plus is looking for nutritional quality, color is very important.
Most people associate a dark red cranberry as a sign of the ripeness of that fruit.
Freshness is very important. There's a very short amount of time from when they're harvested to when they're frozen, locking in the freshness and nutrients.
While we're producing the Juice Plus powders, they have very high standards for the purity of their powders, what can go into their powders. They also have tight controls over their supply lines. They know which farms it comes from, and they have a good control over that. Also, when the products are produced, they have certain steps throughout the process for safety and purity. My favorite part of working with Juice Plus is knowing that people are benefiting from what we're doing. We put a lot of work into how we grow our ingredients and how we process them so that they're safe and high quality and nutritious. It's neat to see the results of that by seeing the customers that use them and seeing their lives improved from some of the healthy ingredients and produce that we process.
And so we also have plant-based omegas. We hear a lot about we need omega-3s to help with our heart or our brain. We also found that omegas also help with our skin, our joints, and we get plant-based because fish oil, there's a lot of things that are coming out that it may not be as beneficial as we think because of the type of, it not only has the omega-3s, but it also has cholesterol and other problems with, the fats, as well as fish are just kind of being mined out for the fish oil. And they usually get their omegas from eating, like things like seaweed. So we're just kind of cutting out that middle fish, so to speak. And we've got this plant-based omega blend. And then we've got our complete products, which are the drink mixes. And, many of us, I think one of the dishes that we're making today uses the complete in our recipes to make sweet treats. I love it because it's filled with more vegetables as well as whole grains and lentils. So we're getting our proteins. It's filled with fiber. Things like I was just reading about, like broccoli sprouts helps with our immune system. I mean, every ingredient is well thought out before it's put in there so that it can give us our best, the best support for our own body's function. Even soy. I know there's a lot of concern about soy, but really it's about where your soy is coming from. If you're finding non-GMO whole soybeans, that's a great source of protein. It's been shown to actually help decrease the risk of breast cancer and other issues that people are thinking about that could be associated with soy. And there's really not been any, unless you're using processed soy that's been, modified genetically, and that can maybe sometimes lead to problem, but other like whole soybeans do not. So it's great, it's tasty, and it's very versatile. You can put them in smoothies, you can put them in, there's like ice cream that we make from it, all sorts of stuff. So it's food, it's not a multivitamin. This is one of the reasons I love this, is that it is the most researched brand name nutritional product in the world. There's over 35 peer-reviewed published clinical studies on Juice Plus that let us know that it pretty much has the same effect in the body as fruits and vegetables. So kind of reiterates the fact that it's basically just fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And it's affordable. Even children can take it. It's safe to take. And the company has a program where kids can take it for free with an adult sponsor that takes it as well. So they get to sponsor a child to take it. And that way the whole family gets to be on this healthy path together. And the other thing I love about it is the community that comes with this, just the community that we're in. Health Made Simple. We've got events that we do regularly. This is when we were able to be out in person. So I don't have any pictures. I think one of these might be from the last one this year, but most of these are from last year. But we had a great time, and then we've been doing something similar, you know, giving healthy education talks, trying to really just continue to foster that sense of community on Zoom as much as we can, with events like today, like how to make healthy treats. We also have our community is extended all across the US and even into all across the world, as we're extending out into other areas, you know, like Mexico and Europe, for our team, our community. So that makes it a lot of fun that we get to meet people that are like-minded, that are really into plants and eating healthy and living healthy lifestyles from all walks of life. So the 6 simple steps to eating more plants: you can try eating soups and stews. You know, an Instapot is great for that. Salads or power bowls, those are easy to kind of put together. You can start by trying, you know, 1 whole food plant-based meal a week, and try making a family favorite recipe more plant-based, or try something new. Like I said, we have tons of recipe books with a great amount of recipes that people all over our community have put together, so that they're all different types of recipes. Smoothies, breakfast treats, we can have healthier options to eat more plant-based with those. Keeping fresh cut fruits and vegetables in your fridge at, you know, pretty much at all times. So when you want snacks, you can have freezer meals. So if you prep extra, you can put stuff in the refrigerator or freezer, so that you're always going to have some healthy foods on hand. And since we are talking about desserts, I thought I would highlight some of the whole food plant-based desserts that I've made throughout the past that, you know, yummy. These are all pretty much sugar-free. They are sweetened with things like agave or maple syrup, so they don't have any processed sugar in them. These kinds of treats are great. They're great substitutes for the regular desserts because they're made with healthier ingredients. But they're also they're treats. They're not meant to be eaten every day. They're not meant for, you know, like a meal. Although sometimes I have been known to eat, you know, cake as a meal, but, you know, in this case, not in this cake, you know, we just want to make sure that as we're making these healthier treats today, that doesn't mean that we can eat a lot of it. It's just that it gives us a healthier option of what we already would probably eat. Plus, having these kinds of things gives you something to munch on when you have that temptation of what's at the office, donuts and cookies and cakes and other things like that. And you can always just have a plate of fruit and you can do that as much as you want. That's a healthy treat. You know, that's not even a healthier treat. It's a healthy treat. So you can have as many plates of fruits as you want throughout the day, and it'll be good. So we'll get started here. I've got the ingredient list for everything that we're going to do today. I think, Stephanie, are you going first with the cookie dough balls? So let me stop sharing.
Actually, it's going to be Jennifer. So we had Stephanie Casas is making her very own creation, and she ended up having to she was not able to make it today, like unexpectedly. So she created her own video. So I'm really excited. It's fantastic. So Jennifer's going to share her video of how she did that.
Yeah, and she's going to go into her story in the beginning, and then she's going to make a coconut cream pie. So I'm not sure how many of you guys are following along to make that. If you are, then you want to have your pie crust cooking or done. And even if you're not following along, it's really cool to watch, and you can make it in the future. It's super, super, super simple. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and then get the video started.
Hello, my Juice Plus peeps. Thank you everybody who came to join these classes today. And I am super bummed that I can't be here with you, because that's half the fun, is being able to participate, right? But hopefully this video will help you with with the coconut cream pie that I've created. Um, and just to give you a little background about me, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Stephanie Casas, and I was born to very, very young parents who did not really concern themselves so much with nutrition, and it's something that I never really learned along the way. I was always very active, so I really didn't think about it, you know. I was very outdoorsy, our whole family was, and it's one of the things that drew me to Colorado. It was perfect for that time in my life. I was, you know, hiking, we were doing jeep excursions, whitewater rafting, we had a blast. It was great. And then my career started getting a lot more stressful, and with that stress came the sweet addiction. It's something that I never really thought about, and I had created a lot of bad habits. Once the stress began, those bad habits came to bite me. They really did. And when normally a sweet treat would be coffee and sweet bread on the weekend, started to go to every day. And after every meal, I had to have something sweet. Started working late, so eating late.
Ah,
Jennifer, I don't know if you have the option. I know on mine, whenever I'm sharing a screen, it gives me the option to share the computer sound, and then sometimes comes clearer. I don't know if you see that as one of your options.
yeah, right now my computer is frozen. So let me just try this again. And I think I did do that, and I'm putting myself on mute.
Okay.
Also,
That may mean
I think that's what I need to do is put myself on mute. Hold on, let me try this again. Sorry, guys. Okay. Share. Where's the video? Okay, I've completely lost the video. Well, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. All right, regroup.
Hey, Jennifer, let me try. I just pulled it up from what you sent me.
Hello, my Juice Plus peeps. Thank you, everybody who came to join these classes today. And I am super bummed that I can't be here with you, because that's half the fun, is being able to participate, right? But hopefully this video will help you with the coconut cream pie that I've created. And just to give you a little background about me, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Stephanie Casas. And I was born to very, very young parents who did not really concern themselves so much with nutrition. And it's something that I never really learned along the way. I was always very active, so I really didn't think about it, you know. I was very outdoorsy, our whole family was. And it's one of the things that drew me to Colorado. It was perfect for that time in my life. I was, you know, hiking, we were doing jeep excursions, whitewater rafting. We had a blast. It was great. And then my career started getting a lot more stressful, and with that stress came the sweet addiction. It's something that I never really thought about, and I had created a lot of bad habits. Once the stress began, those bad habits came to bite me. They really did. And when normally a sweet treat would be coffee and sweetbread on the weekends, started to go to every day. And after every meal, I had to have something sweet. Started working late, so eating late and eating the wrong things was becoming just normal. But of course, that all came to a head, and I started getting sick, and started having dizzy spells, fainting spells, started getting extreme fatigue. I started really curtailing my outdoor activity and my indoor activity, my dancing. I love to dance, and it was something that I just didn't want to do, and I really couldn't do anymore. It hurt, and I had been to doctors looking to see what was wrong with me, and other than my weight, that's all they ever could tell me was, "Oh, you're just overweight." I'm like, well, I've been overweight most of my life, and I never had problems with being active, but they couldn't find anything. So I just lived with the problems until I almost had a fainting spell at Target. Blackouts were becoming something of a regularity even when I was sitting down, and well, something's wrong. So finally went to a different doctor, and she diagnosed me with finally diabetes and with high blood pressure, which of course put me on medications that I did not want. I did not want to be on medications. I knew my body couldn't handle it. And sure enough, once I was on it, I was sick. I was sick every day. I was sick for months. And in the middle of this crisis, I was also trying to change my eating habits, but I had no clue. I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing. I had never had to be a vegan, and to me, a salad was it. That was nutrition, was a salad, and not even my own salad. So when, like I said, I was months into my regimen of sickness when Jennifer Porter, thank you, came into my life. She called me out of the blue, telling me about Juice Plus products, the capsules, the powders, and how well it had been working for her family. So I was like, sign me up. I need it now. And before you know it, I was not getting sick anymore, and the colds that I was getting all the time slowly started going away. I went from getting 1 or 2 flus a year to getting none. But the biggest thing was I was able to get off of not just one of my medications, but both of them. And I had to do it myself because, of course, the doctors didn't want me to. But I did, and I'm fine. I've been able to maintain myself since then. And it wasn't just the product that Jennifer offered me. It was the community, and that has been the biggest game changer. Having people that can tell me that, yes, these vegetables are good. Yes, this is how you can make them to make them taste good. Here's people that you can talk to that'll tell you about all the good things that can happen. Just giving me the knowledge, giving me the instruction that I needed to save my own life. And I will be forever grateful that she came to me at that time, that Juice Plus was available, that it was there for me and for anybody. And with that, let's go ahead and get started with making this little sweet treat that hopefully everybody will enjoy. Thanks. Okay, so here you see that I have prepared these 6 scoops of the vanilla powder. And if you wanted to, you could use the chocolate powder and make this a chocolate coconut cream, if you were inclined to do that. I also have already prepared my toasted coconut flakes. And whether you toast them yourself or you buy them toasted, it don't matter. It's up to you. And whether they're really, really toasted or not so toasted, yeah, again, that's totally up to you. I've got my 2 cups of soy evaporated milk, and I have my pie shell here that's already been baked. So we're just going to combine these and go from there. So we're going to add to the powder our evaporated milk, the tablespoon of coconut extract. Now I know that sounds like a lot, but the vanilla powder, it has a very strong flavor and you need more of the extract to kind of combat that, okay? And then you need the agave syrup. Now, the agave is definitely something that you can do. Oh, I actually did. Very funny. I actually did a 1/2 tablespoon instead of a whole tablespoon. So let's go ahead and fix that. There you go. So here's my tablespoon. So the agave syrup, or whatever sweetener you want to use, is going to be dependent on how sweet you want this. So the vanilla powder has some sweetener in it, but for a lot of us, that's not quite enough for a pie, for a sweet pie. So 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons for us. You could stick to 1, you could stick to none, actually, because like I said, there is sweetener in the powder, so that may be enough for you. And the good thing is that you can blend this all up, taste it, see if you like it, and just keep adding until you get to the point that you like it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pause this real quick while I blend this so I won't blow your ears out. Okay. Okay, so that took about 3 minutes or so, maybe a little more. And if you can see, the batter is super thick. It will probably have the consistency of about a pound cake batter. So as you can see, it is pretty solid there. Okay? And that's what you're looking for. You want it to be really smooth and really thick. It needs to hold up. Once it's in the refrigerator, it's going to solidify really, really well, so it'll cut nicely. One of the things I did do, like I stated, when you're blending it, you can taste it to see if it's sweet enough. But another thing to test is whether or not it has enough coconut extract. So I did end up putting another 1/2 tablespoon of coconut extract just so I can get it more to where I wanted the taste. Okay, that's definitely something you can do. So now all we're going to do is get some of that off of there. We're going to move this over. We're going to put the coconut flakes in, stir that up really, really well. Okay, and then all you need to do is pour it into your pie crust. Now, if you have a regular pie crust, you're going to have extra because this actually makes enough for a deep dish pie, which it didn't the last time, but it did this time. So, but you know what? That's okay because you can eat this. You can eat what's left over just as a little treat right now. So you just put that like that, cover it with plastic ceramic, Saran wrap, and put it in the fridge for about 2 to 3 hours until it's nice and solidified. Then you can take it out, cut it, put some of the vegan whipped cream, which we will do next. Okay, so to finish off your coconut cream pie, we're going to go ahead and make the vegan whipped cream with the 1/2 cup of the liquid from 1 can of chickpeas, which is already in my bowl. And then we do 1/8 of a teaspoon of cream of tartar. And you just go ahead and put that in there. And then you are just going to start whipping that up. It should take about 3 to 4 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and put you on pause while we get that started. Now that it's a little foamy, we're going to increase the speed so that we can start getting those stiff peaks to form. Okay, now you can see we've got some stiff peaks on the blades, so we're going to go ahead now and add our powdered sugar and our vanilla. 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup of powdered sugar and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And this is a 1/2 teaspoon, so I need to add 2. And if a little more goes in there, that's quite all right. So now we're going to beat it for another minute or so until fluffy. Okay, there you go. Fresh vegan whipped cream ready for your pie. If you've done this early, you're going to want to make sure you put it in the freezer because it will not stand up very well in the fridge. So you can do this after your pies come out of the refrigerator so that you can serve it immediately. Or like I said, put it in the freezer and it'll be fine. It'll be the frozen whipped cream. Anyways, I hope everybody enjoys it. And I look forward to seeing the videos for everything that happens after this. Thank you so much. You guys have a great time. Bye.
Okay, can you guys hear me? I think I unmuted myself. Awesome. I love Stephanie's story because that's exactly why I got into doing this and why I love doing these events and why I love this community, because you can really impact people's lives like that. Like, I mean, taking someone, you know, there's just so many patients, I can't even tell you how many patients that they probably were like me when, you know, I was in my late 20s. I was completely exhausted and worn out from just like being in sports and exercising all the time and not knowing what was really going on. And for someone to come up and say like, okay, we're gonna have to do a complete wipe out of your diet, we're gonna have to make all these changes, I would have been like, there's no way. Like I'm completely exhausted. I don't even know how I have time to even do some of these things. But it really started with me taking the Juice Plus and being a part of the community that I just kept on learning and growing and adding. And as I learned more, I started making more changes and making more changes. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm feeling so much better. This is crazy. And I cannot tell you how many patients that I know that go to doctors and they literally say, well, your blood work looks normal. I've had patients they've sent to psychiatrists because they literally, or psychologists, because they literally thought that they're just going crazy because everything is normal and they're just thinking that they're crazy. And I'm like, you're not crazy. Your body's just out of balance, and we just got to help you kind of get it back into balance. And it's amazing what you know, what diet can do, but it's also amazing what this community and how I've been able to refer people to different people to help them overcome whatever it is they need to overcome. So anyway, I just a little bit about me. Most of you guys know, I grew up super active, was a gymnast and a soccer player, college soccer player, played some professionally, got into marathon training, and literally in my late 20s, I was exhausted, having to take naps before going out to dinner with my friends. And I thought this was just normal. And in about a 1.5 year period of time, I had bronchitis, pneumonia, and cancer. And the type of cancer I had was just a virus, and the virus just kept on attacking me. And I went through 2 surgeries, 2.5 years. They wanted to do a 3rd surgery. And I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. There's got to be something else that I can do. And literally, it was one of my friends who had just randomly, just kind of like what Stephanie said, called me out for no reason and was like, oh my gosh, you've got to look. I've done all my research. Like, she was a nutritionist, worked with some of the top plant-based doctors. And she did a research paper actually on this product. And she's like, I can't believe there's something like this out here. You got to look at it. You're going to love it. Like, you're going to want to share it with your patients. I'm like, yeah, whatever. No, I don't think so. And literally, when I hit my low points, it probably took about a year before that. She didn't even know that what I was dealing with, because I was dealing with it at the same time that she was calling me, but I didn't share it with anyone because I was so ashamed, because I was supposed to be the picture of health. I was this athlete. I looked healthy on the outside, but I wasn't on the inside. So I was really ashamed to share this with other people at the time. And so when I hit my low point, I decided to give it a try. And literally, it was enough nutrition that helped my body heal that when I went back to the doctor, I was going every 4 months. My blood work and everything was normal for the first time. And in 2.5 years, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just fruits and vegetables. I've got to go and add more. And so I did. I started like doing more research and wanting to learn more, and watching, reading books and watching movies, and everything just kept on pointing to fruits and vegetables, like it was cancer, fruit and vegetables, diabetes, fruits and vegetables, heart disease, fruits and vegetables, autoimmune disease, fruit and vegetables, like everything was about fruits and vegetables. So I just slowly started changing my diet and taking things out and learning how to make some of my favorite foods that used to be unhealthy to where they're healthier now. And that's exactly why we do these events. And so right now, this is a perfect time because this is like my favorite thing. I love cookie dough. I don't really like cookies. I like the dough. So this is a cookie dough recipe, and it's, besides, the agave, it's super healthy. And all of you guys have the recipe. It's 2 cups, 2 cups fully, but 1 cup of oatmeal, just, organic steel cut oats, whatever. And then 1 cup of cashews. And so then you blend those together in a food processor, which I already have right here. It's already blended up, ready to go. And then you add the Juice Plus Complete. Again, love this stuff. It's so good. It's just, again, another way to add plants. And so you add 1 scoop of the Juice Plus Vanilla Complete. I mean, that itself tastes like cake batter to me. And then from there, mix it off a little bit. We're going to add the agave. So you can add, 4 tablespoons, 5 tablespoons. Sometimes I can get away with 4. So I'm just going to add that in. We'll see how that goes when I mix it up. I'm actually not going to mix it up right now because it's super messy, but I will in a second, probably after this. And then you have little semi-sweet kind of chocolate chips. And so you'll just add, I can't even remember, but I'm just gonna add some in. It's in the recipe. I don't always follow recipes sometimes. Sometimes I kind of have them memorized. And so then all you're going to do is you're going to mix it up. I usually mix it up with my hands, and then you roll them into little balls, and I put them in a container, and then we put them in the refrigerator, and then they're really good treats. The thing that I love about this is that you have so much fiber and protein between the Complete and the cashews. Just a lot of protein and fiber. So again, when we talked with Jay Cherie, she talked about how, even though we have things that are going to be more plant-based sources for the sugar part with the agave, you do have a lot of the fiber and the protein, which will help kind of slow the process of the sugar coming in. But this is a great treat. Anytime we make these around any events, they are gobbled up. They are so good. It's my favorite treat. So before we kind of end, just wanted to see if anyone had any questions on anything.
The cookie dough is that pre-COVID, when we were going out and we get potlucks, I would get special requests from people for me to make that and bring it to the potluck. Because they're like, oh, can you make those little balls that you make? Those are so delicious. And my brother, who lives in LA, he's basically said, don't even come visit me unless you bring me some. And I actually just got done mailing him some like a couple of weeks ago. And he was so excited to get that since I haven't seen him in a while. So it's everybody's favorite. Once you make it, they'll keep asking you to make it.
They will. I mean, whenever I have a party or something and someone wants to, like, you need to bring something sweet, this is what I usually will bring, and people love it.
So before we get to questions, we're going to do our group video or group photo. So if you don't have your camera on and you can turn your camera on, please do so we can have you in our group photo. Hey. Mom, can you turn on your camera?
She's not going to turn it on.
All right, so then everybody smile, and I'm gonna take a screenshot. 1, 2, 3. And then let's do a fun one. So everybody make a funny face. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3. There we go.
One of these
All
days we'll
right.
have it back to live again.
I know.
Well, just to kind of end it a little bit, you guys all have the recipes. If you don't have the recipes, please get with the person that invited you, and we can get those to you. You know, our goal is really just to help people just have healthier lives, and we're all on our own journey. Like, I mean, if you look at me where I am today and where I was 10 years ago, I'm completely different. And so we have to always realize that. So the first, you know, there's a lot of ways that you can make changes. You know, the first way is just starting by adding more plants to your diet, finding like recipes, getting with the person invited to you. I share recipes all the time with people, or I share like my favorite blogs or those kind of things. And like what Jayshree said, I literally will, you know, look up recipes on Sunday and make something new almost every Sunday. Sometimes if I'm too busy, then I go to some of my favorites, but Sundays like when I like to cook and spend time and make something new. So that's just a routine that I've kind of created for myself. You could always, like I'm telling you, there's no way that I could be consistent with eating a variety of fruits and vegetables every single day. Like I'll eat the same foods because I don't want to think about it. I go to my same things, so I don't have to put so much energy into what I'm eating because I have so many other things that I'm doing in my life that's one thing where I just try to like, okay, this is going to be super consistent. These are the things I'm going to eat. And I eat kind of the same stuff over and over again. And so for me, just to get that variety, it's impossible. So adding like the Juice Plus capsules or the gummies or the complete, or doing some combo, adding, you know, the omegas, anything like, and they're plants. It's another way to add more. Get the Tower Garden. You can grow your own food. Oh my gosh, the food is fantastic. It's like, if you haven't grown kale on a Tower Garden and you don't like kale, you will like kale. It's just completely different, the flavor and the taste and the texture and all that stuff. So you can always do that. And, you know, we're always looking to partner with people that want to help other people. Very similar, like Stephanie now has come and joined our community so she can help her community because she was so impacted by the things that that Jennifer did for her, that she wanted to share that with her community and make her community healthier. And that's what she's doing. So if any of you guys are interested in learning more about what that looks like, we're always up to looking for people that, you know, that love to grow and learn as a person, not only from a health perspective, but just personally. There's just, the growth is amazing. It just makes you into a completely different person, to wanting to, you know, help others do the same. So with that, I'll leave it to you guys, and please post and tag us when you make these recipes, because I want to see them.
So do any of y'all have any questions?
I was just curious when your next Shred 10 is going to be. Do you guys have a date for another Shred 10 coming
I'll
up?
do one with you. I'll do one with you. I need to like, how about we do this? So our next event is the 14th of November.
Okay.
And so how about we do one after that, because we'll have meals ready to go, and we can just do one after that, because that'll lead us right up to Thanksgiving.
Okay. And then also, I've got one recipe book. Where can I get another one? I got the one I got from the last Shred 10.
I'll send you where you can get them all.
Okay.
I'll send you those, and I'll send you my favorite blogs.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
You'll have so many recipes you won't even know what to do with.
Good.
I think though, generally as a community, we do one starting the first Monday of every month, or there are people that are doing it the first Monday of every month. And then like Stephanie just planned it out with you, whenever it seems like the right time to do it.
Dude, Judy, anytime you want to do one, just call me because it makes me do one.
Okay. Yay,
Exactly.
I need it.
Seriously. During COVID, I need all the extra help I can get.
Oh my gosh, I do too, trust me.
I mean, I do pretty good, but literally, like, there's just been way more cheats than I normally would do.
Well, for me, it's just, like I said before, it's about accountability,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Days run together, right? Like, is there really a weekend? Is
No.
So it's like, okay, weekend treats now become like, oh, what day is it today? I don't know. Let's have a treat.